You put the phone face down. Nothing dramatic happens. No crisis arrives. No one is shouting. The room is quiet enough. Maybe you are sitting on the edge of your bed after work. Maybe you are standing in a hallway with your jacket still on. Maybe you are just trying to let the day leave your body before the next thing asks for you. But part of you is still listening. A message might land. A work update. A school notification. A bill reminder. A friend wondering why you have not replied. The phone is not in your hand, but the room is still not fully yours. That is the quiet shift. Offline used to sound like nostalgia, like someone complaining that life was better before smartphones, apps, feeds, school platforms, remote work, digital banking, AI tools, group chats, and everything else that now lives inside one small device. But most people are not trying to reject the future. They are not trying to move into the woods and pretend technology never happened. They are trying to create one normal human boundary. Do not reach me here. Do not interrupt this meal. Do not put my child alone inside that feed. Do not make every spare minute available for someone else's access. Do not turn connection into permanent exposure. That is what offline means now. Not disappearance, not purity, not anti-technology, just a door, and the right to decide when that door is open. The old promise was simple. Digital life would make things easier, more access, more flexibility, more connection, more learning, more options. Some of that was true. A phone can be safety. A group chat can keep a family running. A school device can help a child who does not have one at home. A remote job can save someone from a commute that was eating their life. A platform can help a lonely person find people. But the everyday reality has become heavier than the sales pitch. In 2026, British doctors warned that the impact of social media on children should be treated with the same seriousness as smoking. Medical leaders in the UK and Ireland were not only talking about vague worry, they pointed to mental health effects, physical injuries linked to online content, and children being exposed to violent or extreme material. That matters, because this is no longer only a parent saying, "I wish my kid would use the phone less." It is doctors, schools, regulators, and governments admitting something many families already feel. Individual self-control is not enough when the environment is built to pull attention back. The same correction is showing up in classrooms. In the United States, parents and school districts have started pushing back against heavy classroom screen use and school-issued devices. Los Angeles Unified has moved toward limiting screen time for younger students, blocking video platforms on school devices, and keeping devices out of lunch and recess. That is not just a school rule. It is a cultural correction. For years, families were told that screens were the future of learning. Now parents and teachers are asking whether children can still sit, write, read, talk, get bored, play, argue, repair conflict, and think without a glowing rectangle sitting between them and the room. UNESCO has reported that phone bans in schools are spreading worldwide. More than 100 education systems now have national mobile phone bans in schools. A few years ago, that was much less common. That is not a mood. That is a global policy movement. Denmark is moving in the same direction. Danish public schools and after-school programs are being pushed toward mobile-free environments, with the stated goal of protecting concentration, immersion, and present communities. Those words sound gentle on paper, but in daily life, they mean something concrete. The phone goes away. The child has to face the room, and the adults have to hold the line. That last part matters, because the child is not the only one being tested. Adults are being tested too. Can we say no? Can we build structure? Can we stop pretending that a child alone with a feed is the same as a child learning technology? Can we admit that access without boundaries is not freedom? It is exposure. And this is where the shared reality begins. Men feel the pressure in one way. Women often feel it through another doorway, but both are living inside the same access economy. For many men, the phone is not only entertainment, it is the rota, the job app, the client message, the overtime request, the quick thing, the bank alert, the delivery update, the sports group, the dating app, the news hit, the AI tool rollout, the next opportunity, the next risk. A man can say he is going offline, but if his work is unstable, shift-based, app-managed, client-driven, or reputation-sensitive, he may still keep checking, not because he loves the screen, Because missing one message can cost him money, access, status, or work. You can see it in small behavior. He leaves the phone in another room, then walks back after 7 minutes. He turns off most notifications, but keeps one work channel open. He says he is done with dating apps, then checks again because silence starts to feel like proof that the market has forgotten him. He does not always call it anxiety. Sometimes he calls it just checking. Sometimes he jokes about it. Sometimes he makes himself useful so nobody sees how tired he is. Women feel it too, but often through responsibility and visibility. The phone becomes planning, safety, school updates, family logistics, emotional labor, health information, group chats, calendar coordination, social maintenance, parenting judgment, shopping pressure, news panic, friend obligations, the quiet expectation to stay reachable. Many women are not simply scrolling too much. They are managing the invisible admin of modern life through the same device that also contains comparison, outrage, beauty standards, conflict, performance, and constant evaluation. You see it in small behavior. She replies late at night because that is when the house is finally quiet. She checks the school app before breakfast. She screenshots information so she will not forget. She keeps a conversation alive because letting it die might be read as coldness. She says she needs a break, then uses the break to catch up on messages. The phone becomes the place where care, pressure, and performance blur. The sharp contrast is this: men are often punished by the digital world through access and status. Women are often punished through visibility and responsibility. That is not a rule for every person, but it is a real pattern. One person checks because he cannot afford to miss the door opening. Another checks because too many people assume she is the door, and both are tired. Teenagers show the same contradiction in younger form. Pew Research has found that teens do not describe platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and Snapchat as only harmful. They use them for fun, messaging, friendship, and connection. For many teenagers, the phone is not just entertainment, it is social infrastructure. That is the part adults often miss. Telling a teenager to just go offline can sound like telling them to disappear from the place where their social life is organized. But Pew has also found pressure around screen time, sleep, productivity, and cyberbullying. Teenage girls have been more likely than boys to say social media hurts their mental health, confidence, sleep, and friendships. Boys are not untouched by it, but the burden does not always look the same. A boy may withdraw, game, lurk, go quiet, or stop asking for support. A girl may stay socially engaged while carrying more comparison, messaging pressure, and social monitoring. The lazy debate says screen bad or screen good. Real life is uglier and more honest. The phone is sometimes the thing damaging connection. It is also sometimes the only place where connection still happens. That is why offline has become a boundary, not a lifestyle brand. The clean version is too easy. Digital detox, a soft room, a nice bag, a paid event, a person with enough time and money to be unreachable for a few hours. There is nothing wrong with that. Phone-free dinners, offline clubs, and screen-free social events can be useful. They create friction. They give people permission to be unavailable. They make the room real again. Groups like the Offline Club show that people are not only talking about digital well-being, they are physically entering spaces where the phone is removed first. Good. More of that. But let us not pretend everyone gets the same version of offline. Some people buy a retreat. Some people work 2 jobs and need the phone on because the next shift may arrive there. Some parents can build screen-free routines with sports, books, walks, and calm dinners. Others use the tablet because dinner needs to be made, laundry needs to move, the rent is due, and there is no second adult in the room. Some people can leave work messages unread. Others know that being hard to reach becomes a career risk. That is the class layer almost nobody wants to sit with. Offline is easiest for people who can afford consequences, and that is why just use your phone less is not enough. It can sound wise, but it skips the material conditions. Less screen is easier when your work is stable, your child is safe, your friends are nearby, your bills are paid, your body is rested, and nobody punishes you for answering tomorrow. The OECD's work on screen time and well-being points in the same direction. High personal screen use is linked with poorer well-being outcomes, but the picture is not only about hours on a screen. Sleep deprivation, low physical activity, loneliness, unemployment, and financial hardship all matter too. In other words, the screen often becomes the place where other pressures land. That is why the problem feels so sticky. It is not just the phone. It is the work culture inside the phone, the school system inside the phone, the bank inside the phone, the family calendar inside the phone, the loneliness inside the phone, the fear of missing out, the fear of being forgotten, the fear of being punished for not answering. For ordinary people, the boundary has to be practical. A father leaves his phone charging in the hallway during dinner, but keeps the work ringtone on because he cannot miss the call. A mother deletes one app, then keeps another because school updates, local information, and family coordination still land there. A young man buys a dumb phone for weekends, then carries his smartphone anyway because banking, maps, transport, ID, and dating all live inside it. A young woman turns off read receipts because she wants to answer like a person, not perform availability like customer support. These are not aesthetic choices. They are survival edits. The uncomfortable truth is that many people cannot regulate the digital world alone because the problem does not sit only inside their discipline. It sits in design, work culture, school systems, social expectations, family logistics, loneliness, money pressure, and the attention economy itself. Infinite scroll is not an accident. Push notifications are not neutral. Algorithmic feeds are not passive. Autoplay does not exist because human beings needed more freedom. These tools are built to reduce the gap between impulse and use. That does not remove personal responsibility. It makes responsibility more serious. Because a boundary with no structure behind it becomes a nice sentence people fail at privately. This is why schools matter. This is why laws matter. This is why parents need backup. This is why workplaces need norms. This is why friend groups need to stop treating delayed replies as moral failure. This is why families need permission to say, not every conversation belongs in a group chat. Not every child needs a smartphone early. Not every pause needs content. Not every message deserves immediate access. Not every moment of silence is a problem to solve. The positive truth is that people are not passive. The backlash against school devices, the spread of phone bans, the rise of offline events, the political pressure on addictive platform design, and the growing public language around online safety and digital well-being all point to the same thing. People are trying to reclaim human space. Not perfectly, not evenly, not without hypocrisy, but they are moving. A child with no phone at recess has to negotiate boredom, play, conflict, and awkwardness. That can look old-fashioned until you remember that those are basic social muscles. A teenager who reduces screen time at night may sleep better, but may also fear missing the group rhythm. A worker who protects one offline evening may not become less ambitious. They may become less available for quiet exploitation. A couple that puts phones away during dinner may not suddenly become deep and healed. They may simply get 10 minutes where neither person is competing with the whole internet. That is enough to matter. Offline is not a rejection of technology. The future will still be digital. AI tools will spread. Schools will still use platforms. Work will still use apps. Families will still coordinate through messages. Nobody serious should pretend we are going back. The point is harder than going back, and more useful. The point is deciding where the door is. That is how we reclaim dignity here. Not by smashing the phone, not by pretending the world outside the screen is pure, not by shaming tired people who are already carrying too much, but by rebuilding the right to be unavailable, the right to let a child be present, the right to answer tomorrow, the right to eat without being pulled away, the right to work without being endlessly reachable, the right to friendship that does not become customer service, the right to silence that is not treated as failure. A boundary is not hatred. A pause is not backwardness. A child without a phone in school is not being denied the future. A worker who does not answer at 9:47 p.m. is not lazy. A friend who replies, "Tomorrow is not necessarily cold." A person who puts the phone face down and leaves it there is not antisocial. They may be trying to stay human. Offline is not nostalgia. Offline is the new boundary.